What is up, guys? PieMuffin here, and we are back with another Tales of the Rays video. So, this is going to be a very quick video. There's just a few things to kind of go over that dropped with the current story chapter that dropped last night, which we did live stream. It was a ton of fun. It does feel like the story is getting ready to wrap up. I mean, not really wrap up. Obviously, the big battle hasn't started yet. The preparations for the big battle are still kind of going underway, and, everyone's kind of getting in place. But there are a few things that we have with this final chapter. First things first, there is a 75% off AP campaign going on right now with the release of this chapter. All of the story up until, so the whole first 3 arcs, and then all of the story up until 417. So through 417 is 75% off. So if you've been, waiting to kind of catch up, you can get a bunch of diamonds from this. Now is the perfect time to kind of do that. So you've got 3 whole arcs, especially if you're like a newer player. That's tons of story for you to get and tons of diamonds for you to get. So all the way up to 417, it's only 418, 419, and 420, which obviously 420 is the newest chapter, are all going to be normal AP. So those you'll probably have to wait for a few refills to kind of get that done. But the other thing we have in the game is we have another set of panel missions that are specific. Well, it's for the 2,000 day celebration, but it's also specific to the story itself. So if you go over here, you can see all of the panel missions have to do with a specific story stage. So the first one here is 1-1. So you have to do the first stage in the first arc of the first chapter. And then you got 14/16. So I believe that's the final. Pretty much what they're doing here is pretty much in every arc you have to do up until the 4th arc. You have to do the first stage and then the final stage, and then for the 4th arc you've got to do the first stage. You've got to do chapter 10, the end, towards the end of chapter 10, and then the one I've already completed is just the newest chapter. Once you finish the last stage on the newest chapter on normal, you clear that out. Each one of so the panels themselves add up to 100 diamonds, and then you get another 100 once they are all complete. So that's 200 more diamonds you can get from this, which is great for me. That'll be more diamonds for me to spend on Yuri when his banner drops here at the end of the month in about a week. And that is pretty much it. That's what we have in the game right now. Yeah, so I think we have probably 2 more chapters. I think there's probably going to be a final chapter part 1 and a final chapter part 2. They could squeeze everything into one final chapter next month, but I think they're going to split it into 2 parts because kind of where things leave off, I guess spoilers don't really matter. I'm sure most people who watch my videos can't even read Japanese, so pretty much things end off with the Bifrost crew, which is Mercuria and Kokos's group, basically getting ready to infiltrate Demetrius's kind of lair with, they basically had Van, Master Van from Abyss lead the way in, and they're getting ready to infiltrate, while Ix and his crew, along with all the other Tales characters, are also kind of getting into their preparations as well for the final battle. But we still don't know how Ix and Kokos's groups are going to end up fighting each other. As we see in the opening, Ix and Kokos are going to be fighting each other. Melina and Karya are going to be fighting against Mercuria and Nazar. So we don't know how that whole development is going to happen, and it's really weird because even in this chapter, they're all still working together. So I feel like there's got to be some kind of mind control in place, like something's going to happen to Kokos's group, and it's not actually going to be them. Maybe they'll get living dolled by Demetrius and their crew. We'll have to see. But yeah, so the final battle is getting ready to start, and I may have mentioned this before, I might not have. The voice actor for Demetrius, who is, the main antagonist of this arc, had mentioned that he's going to be voicing it. Normally, the story chapters, until the full voice packs come out, they're not voiced. But the fact that he said he's going to be reprising his role as Demetrius tells us one of 2 things. Either A, the final chapter is most likely going to be fully voiced, or B, Demetrius might become playable after the story is over. I'm leaning more towards the first one. I do think Demetrius and Glastain will probably be playable at some point after the story concludes, but probably not immediately. Maybe at the end of the final chapter, maybe they'll be the characters. But I think it's most likely that the final chapter is probably going to be fully voiced. which will be really exciting, especially with how many characters are probably going to be involved in it. But other than that, that's pretty much it that I wanted to go over. So now we just wait until the end of the month when Yuri and Duke's banners will drop. Well, they'll be on the same banner. No idea who else is going to be flooded on that banner. Hopefully it's not a crazy amount of Vesperia characters, but if it's just like... I mean, I guess they could do Flynn, because if Yuri's going to be on there, I assume all his Mirror Jarts are going to be on there. So probably like his crossover Mirror Jart, his Overray, his Decisive Mirror Jart. But I would be fine if Rita and Estelle wanted to be on there, because I'm still missing their Decisive Mirror Jarts, so that'd be kind of nice to have. But yeah, so that banner will drop on the 30th, and then probably, let me see. What's the beginning of next month looking like? So probably on Friday the 7th of October will probably be when they drop the PV for next month, and we'll kind of see what's going to be going on from there. I definitely think that for the finale of the story, I feel like whenever the final chapter is going to be, or whatever, there's definitely going to be some new Mirror Jarts for the characters. You know, maybe ending Mirror Jarts for Ix and Melina. Not really sure, you know, what they'd end up getting, but I think they're definitely going to get something because it is the conclusion of their story. Most likely when the story ends, Ix and Melina won't really get new stuff besides maybe like seasonals and stuff like that. Whether we get a new protagonist and a brand new story, Ix and Melina are definitely going to be taking a back seat in terms of the content they get. So I think giving them one final Mirror Jart will be very good for them. But that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.